Today I would like to talk about subliminal messaging, what it is, how it can be used, and how this has been applied through design and advertising. So take my hand and come with me as we dive once more into my deep, deep design pocket and discover everything you need to know about subliminal messaging. We've all heard about subliminal messages and how they are meant to influence your mind. Can a series of flashcards and sounds really direct you towards doing something or buying something that you would normally not want to? Is subliminal messaging a quantifiable weapon used on the masses? And what is a subliminal message? The basic definition of a subliminal message is a message that can slip past your mental radar and nestle down into your subconscious mind. The word itself refers to being able to pass below your normal perception, the sub-part, and underneath its limits, the liminal part. Sigmund Freud popularized the term subconscious. The conscious mind may be compared to a fountain playing in the sun and falling back into a great subterranean pool of subconscious from which it rises. The subconscious refers to a part of our mind that operates below the level of a conscious awareness, a secret hiding place for our experiences, motives, and desires. The first step to understanding this is that subliminal perception is believed to be the result of communications that are designed to generate a response that makes people do things they wouldn't usually do otherwise. The second step to understanding this is that we cannot become consciously aware of subliminal stimuli even if we look straight at it. Our minds interpret information at the lowest level of stimulus, known as the absolute threshold limit. The idea that a message can be passed to you and have some influence over your actions obviously goes hand in hand with the ongoing mission of the design and advertising industry to influence you. These creative ideas often tread a controversial line. Subliminal messaging can take on the form of a message within a song, either at a higher or lower frequency when played as subaudible, or even backwards, which is called backmasking. Many of the Beatles songs were suggested to have hidden messages, with the group using the backmasking technique. The song Revolution 9 has the repeated message "Turn Me On Dead Man," which was included as a little Easter egg for the truly hardcore fans.
Number 9, honey underman, honey underman, honey underman, honey underman, honey underman.
There were many others, and Paul McCartney told The Observer in 1995 in regards to the posthumously released Lennon song Free as a Bird that "we even put one of those spoof backwards recordings on the end of the single for a laugh to give those Beatles fan nuts something to do."
Turned out nice again.
Other songs that have hidden messages are Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin,
If there's a bottle in your hedgerow, don't be alone there. It's just a sprinkling for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Oh, it's nicht mal durchtreten. All of it up to have one, make me sad, push now and say. You can't throw me in your seat, such stick. I'm all in with the war, I need a summer slightly.
Another One Bites the Dust from Queen,
Another one bite the dust.
Better by You, Better Than Me by Judas Priest, and Everybody by the Backstreet Boys. Sorry, there isn't one on that last song, it just sounds better in reverse. This started a trend in people playing their albums backwards to find hidden messages, and often there were none, but that didn't stop people from looking. Another subliminal messaging example is on the visual side. We are subjected to thousands of images every day, and messages can be hidden within those without us being fully aware. There are two main types of subliminal visual messaging, the subvisual and the embeds. Subvisual images are flashed at the 10th of a second within film and television production, so the viewer cannot fully perceive them. For a 10th of that second you are hit with a message that you were not even aware was there, but your brain knows. One of the earliest recordings of this technique was the James Vickery experiment. Vickery was a market researcher who is best known for pioneering the concept of subliminal advertising. His famous 1957 experiment flashed images at the audience that simply said, "Thirsty? Drink Coca-Cola," or "Hungry? Eat popcorn." These images were displayed so quickly that moviegoers had no idea that they were seeing them. Vickery claims that this experiment increased the sale of both products, but he was unable to produce evidence to reinforce this. Shortly after his claims, the CIA produced a report called The Operational Potential of Subliminal Perception that led to quick-cut subvisuals being banned from US theatres and televisions. As I understand it, that is where the CIA's interest in subliminal messaging ended. Embeds are the other kind of subliminal visual messaging. There are messages that are hidden in plain sight and appear in a fixed and unchanged environment. These hidden messages can be disguised within drawings, photographs, and composites. Scientists have debated subliminal messaging for many, many decades. These messages have been experimented with throughout a variety of audio and visual mediums, but do they actually work? Is there any proof that the brain is influenced by these techniques? Many scientists believe that applications of subliminal stimuli often base themselves in the persuasiveness of the message. Research on action priming has shown that subliminal stimuli can only trigger actions a receiver of the message plans to perform anyway. Most actions can be triggered subliminally only if the person is already prepared to perform a specific action. Despite this subject bouncing back and forth throughout the last century, scientists have still not come to a strong conclusion either way. There is flimsy proof at best on whether these techniques actually work on us. There is no full consensus about whether subliminal messages are effective at convincing people to do or want things that they usually wouldn't. There is some evidence to suggest that if a person is already thirsty, then being shown a certain kind of stimuli can influence their choice if that choice is readily available. This suggests that subliminal messaging may only be effective in very specific contexts. Some studies suggest that embedded audio and imagery do affect action and behaviour. However, this effect only lasts for a short period of time. Despite the wavering science behind the theory, this has not stopped marketers and advertisers from trying to master these hidden messages to mould the world at large. David Ogilvy is often referred to as the modern-day father of advertising. He said, "A good advertisement is one that sells the product without drawing attention to itself." This applies to both advertising and design. The ideas behind an ad campaign or branding a company should be strong and thought-provoking. That balance is essential. There are many examples that you've seen over the years that have reached you on a subliminal level and have changed your perception of the brand without you really realising it. Here are some examples of subliminal advertising and design. Wendy's. This is a disturbing looking logo, made even more so when you realise that the word mom is hidden within the girl's collar. Gilby's Gin. This company famously ran this advert with a hidden word in their ice cubes. The Amazon logo. This one works on a multitude of levels and is a little more obvious than the others. The Amazon smile is also an arrow going from A to Z, reinforcing their ability to supply everything and deliver everything on time. KFC. These guys claim to have 11 special ingredients, but in this example there are 12. Blink and you'll miss it, but this advert for their snacker sandwich has a hidden dollar bill inside the mix. SFX. The science fiction magazine has been running for many years and each cover displays their logo, nice and large and often with the bottom half of the F covered over. Coca-Cola. Not only do their classic bottles depict an abstract woman's body, but many of their adverts have shapely ladies in them too. Cisco. No, not that one, that one. The company Cisco have a series of lines that represent a digital signal. Less well known is the fact that they originate from San Francisco. Golden Gate Bridge, anyone? Beats by Dre. It's the letter B and it's also a set of headphones on someone's head. Who knew? Disney. This company are notorious for having hidden messages within their films. Clouds in the sky, patterns of the leaves, they've all been used to generate inside jokes for years and years. But Pirates of the Caribbean also used a familiar shape within all of their branding and press advertising when the film was first released. The Hope for African Children initiative. Another more obvious one, but still a great example of a logo working on several levels. Psst, it's the shape of Africa and it's also a mother and child. Toblerone. Toblerone was originally created in Bern, Switzerland, which is often referred to as the City of Bears. Let's take another look at that packaging. Toyota. This company can spell out its entire name with just the symbol. Gillette. A little more subtle, but the typographic execution of this brand is meant to represent a razor having cut the letters G and I. Le Tour de France. If you haven't spotted this one before, then sacre bleu. It's the event name and a person on a bicycle. Lovely. And finally, FedEx. There's a hidden arrow within the logo of this classic branding. To this day, it might be one of the best identities of the last century, and there is a reason that it hasn't been updated since its creation by Landor Associates back in '94. True class. Honourable mentions. McDonald's. There's a long-running rumour going around that the original branding for this fast food chain was created to install a motherly feel towards its customers. The classic golden arches are not just the letter M, they may also represent a large pair of boobs.
And there you have it. It looks like we are surrounded by subliminal messages. In conclusion, subliminal messages can give consumers that extra push towards choosing a certain product or brand regardless of the messaging. Losing customers' trust is far more costly for the brands than the short-term gains derived from subliminal manipulation.
Servus, Sergej? Fährst jetzt? Aber dann muss ich nachgeben.